Dead by Daylight just dropped a mid-chapter update with buffs, nerfs, and whatever Myers is going through emotionally right now. Some perks got fixed, some perks got deleted like they owed the devs money, and the Skull Merchant is somehow getting buffed again. I don't know who she's blackmailing, but it's working. Let's break down everything in patch 9.3.0, and more importantly, what it actually means for your games. Some important stuff to note: Mindbreaker is back. There was a bug causing near-permanent exhaustion, but now that has been fixed. So yeah, Dead Hard players, feel free to keep breaking Killer's ankles. Breakdown and Wicked perks have been disabled. They did not explain why, but they are on vacation. And Myers has his camera fixed during Slaughtering Strike. So now the camera controls are now identical to regular camera controls, making it easier to maneuver. Before, during Slaughtering Strike, it kind of felt like the shape had a really heavy head when he was turning. It wasn't very natural or easy, and now it's going to be regular camera controls. Alright, on to anti-camping. This is what we're all here for, yay! And if you're a killer who refuses to leave the hook, this is for you. So the anti-camp meter will scale faster. If you spend time around the hook up to 10 seconds, it'll be 1 times the speed. Up to 20 seconds, 2 times the speed. More than 20 seconds, it'll scale 4 times the speed. However, it does compensate by the base speed overall being 50% slower, so just passing by the hook won't trigger it, but if you stay there, you're going to be punished. Hooking a survivor now applies a 7-second grace period to all hook survivors. Before it was just the last hook survivor, now it's going to be to all of them. Survivors will gain 10% haste and endurance for 15 seconds after being unhooked. Before it was 10 seconds. And a resolve bar is visible to all survivors now. So any survivor will be able to see how close a teammate is to the second stage or dying with the HUD. Hopefully this encourages your teammates in solo queue to come rescue you off the hook and don't let you die. I'm sure killers will find other ways to camp. Maybe they'll stand from afar and look at the hook. But this is the fix for now. Let's see how it goes, and hopefully we'll have less campers in the game. Before we talk about Skull Merchant's buff, let's talk about AFK survivors, because apparently players are just joining lobbies and not playing. So Crows will spawn faster now. They got an 80, 100, 120 seconds timer instead of 120, 140, 190. So if you go to AFK, the game will expose you with the crows quicker. Hopefully the killer will find you and sacrifice you. Which brings us to the Skull Merchant, who got buffed again. Let's go. I'm not a big Skull Merchant player, but yeah, she's buffed again. So the drones will be able to rotate faster and track you faster. So they basically have aimbot now. There's a 10% hindrance increase, so you will be even slower. Good luck on those loops. She can deploy them even faster. The cooldown has been decreased to 7 seconds. But however, the undetectable duration has been reduced to 6 seconds. However, if you spam the drones every 7 seconds, the math isn't mathing. You can't vault anymore to avoid the scan line, so you're going to have to think of a different solution for that. Good luck. If the drone sees you, you're screwed. And now, for every 2.5 seconds spent standing underneath a drone, the survivor will gain 1 lock-on. Before, it was instant. And finally, it decreased the detection range for the drone. Now it will only rise when colliding directly with the Skull Merchant. So yes, she is stronger. You might see an uptick in Skull Merchants in your matches. Some killer add-ons have been reworked. The Cenobites Original Pain now reveals the survivor's aura for 8 seconds. And for the Singularity, the Soma Family Photo add-on now has hindered last 6 seconds and has removed the Deep Wound effect. These changes were made because both of these add-ons were able to bypass the endurance effect of survivors, so now this is their attempt to kind of balance that out. I don't really play either of those killers, so you guys let me know in the comments if this is better or worse for your game. Let's balance it out now with some survivor perks and some reworks. Let's talk about Conviction first, because this is kind of a bummer. So now you must heal another survivor to activate. You can't just use it by self-healing yourself with Plot Twist and other similar perks. So it won't be as exploitable, so this is, I guess, in the end, good for the killer, but kind of a bummer as a survivor. Now, Tenacity kind of received a bigger buff. You will be able to crawl and recover at the same time, and the haste while crawling has increased to 30, 40, 50%. So slugging will be less efficient. Survivors will be able to crawl and heal as they try to reach safer spots. So killers beware of survivors running Tenacity. Anti-slug perk. In some survivor add-on updates, we have the renamed Anti-Hemorrhagic Syringe. It removes the heal over time effect, removes exhaustion on use, and consumes the med kit on secondary action use. The Styptic Agent removes the endurance status effect. No longer consumes the medkit on secondary action use, and increases the efficiency when healing yourself by 15%. Alright, next the maps and the user interface will be getting some love. So a lot of realms have been updated, so safer loops have been toned down. There will now be less strong palettes, so killers will be able to end chases more consistently is what they hope to do. They have opened up some paths like an underground complex. Larger rooms have a guaranteed open door, extra gen access, so it'll be less maze-like, easier to navigate and not get stuck during chase. Idlehaven Records received a lighting and fog adjustment for visibility. You will be able to actually see around. And they have updated the UI, UX, better visibility, cleaner menus, improved accessibility, that kind of thing. Last but not least, bug fixes. You know, the stuff that secretly changes the game more than any perk ever will, and we don't talk about enough. Lightning Round Edition. Let's go. So with the shape, Slaughtering Strike will now break pellets more reliably. Bots won't miss every skill check anymore. They are now officially more reliable than half of solo queue. Audio fixes like footsteps, chase audios, breathing, and environmental sounds adjusted across multiple characters and maps will be able to be heard more clearly. Map collision has been worked, fixed floating props, collision traps, invisible walls, and vault hang-ups across multiple realms. No more getting stuck in the air. The Bloodweb menu has been fixed. No more freezing menus, loading taking longer than usual. Spending blood points won't feel like running Windows Vista anymore. So those are some of the more important bug fixes. I will link the whole update in the description for you to look through. So yeah, overall, killers got smoother pressure, survivors got smarter tools, maps got less nonsense, and Myers learned how to turn his head. It's a good day. Let me know what you think of this patch and what the devs should have worked on instead.